Hey girl, hey! Welcome back to my channel. Now I know some of you guys really loved my best everyday eyeshadow palettes video, and a lot of you guys wanted to see a colorful palette edition of this video. So I'm back. I'm ready to hit you with that. I've got a lot of palettes to talk about. I have quite a bit of affordable palettes, and I also have maybe like 3 or 4 in the mid-tier slash high-end category. So I feel like I've got a good assortment for those of you guys that like high-end, but those of you guys that are also budget babes, drugstore divas, you know, and you're trying to look fly in a budget. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about, this one is a newer palette, and I'm surprised that I like this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. So the packaging, super luxe, very nautical, not only in the design, but when you feel it, it's like that, I don't know, like what sails are made of, whatever that material is, that's what it feels like to me. When you open this up, let me just take this brush out. This is it. And I feel like you're like, okay, I look at it, whatever. But when I wear this, the colors just shine on my lids, and they just look beautiful. So I'm really happy with this purchase. I didn't even plan on purchasing it when I saw it online. I was just like, whatever, didn't spur my interest at all. And I saw it in person and I was like, oh, she looks luxe, you know? And it was even better once I tried it on. So I plan on like wearing this into the summer just because these colors are like totally up my alley. They look beautiful on my skin tone. I find that the formula is in fact very similar to Soft Glam palette. Really nice, blendable. Yes, there's a little bit of fallout, but not too much. Nothing to really write home about. It's you know, what it is. Easy to work with. Now that palette does run in, I want to say like the mid 40s. I'll put the price up here when I'm editing it, but you know, yeah, it's not cheap, but it's the kind of palette that's going to last you for a while. So if you know you're going to wear colors, then yeah, that's a great investment to make. Now I'm going to hit you with an affordable palette. I love Profusion Cosmetics. They make some of my favorite eyeshadows, and this right here, this is the Festival palette. So when I open it up right here, you can see all these colors. The formula is great. I don't know how they managed to do it. They make pigmented formulas, but this whole thing I think is, I want to say it's like $12.99, and that's a lot for this many shadows. They're not dusty, they're like, they work, they're so wonderful. So if you plan on wearing a lot of color, this is something that you definitely want to check out. I think this is available online on Target and on their website, Profusion Cosmetics. I don't know if this is available in stores, but it's worth a shot checking out. You never know, you might find it. Even better though is to check on the Target website and see if it's available at a store near you. I think sometimes you can also get them to ship to the Target that's closest to you, so you might want to see if that's an option. Okay, now this palette is specific to a very type of color, and that's purple. I love the color purple. I live for purple. It's what I gravitate towards, and I really have to force myself not to wear purple all the time on my lids. And this is the Natasha Genoa Lila palette. Very beautiful packaging. I mean, look at this. I love the scheme. Purples, pinks, a little bit of gold. This is like wearable color. It's not, you know, festival look. It's just like, oh, I like color, but yeah, you know, I mean, some teal eyeshadow really scares me, but like, hey, I could wear this color, I could wear this color, I could wear that, you know what I mean? So if this is a color story that you can really vibe with, then I would definitely suggest this. I do want to say her eyeshadow formula is not typical. It's not like a Morphe palette. These shimmers work best when you apply them with your fingers. If that's something that bothers you, that's totally fine. I just don't think that this palette's going to be for you. You can apply them with your fingers and then go in with a brush to kind of refine that placement. Everyone has different preferences. It doesn't bother me as much because I know the color payoff is going to be nice, and every time I wear this palette right here, I always get compliments. So now I want to stick with an oldie but a goodie, okay? NYX Cosmetics, and this is their Ultimate eyeshadow palette, and it's the Brights edition. So I feel like everybody back in the day was like using this. This is a great palette. I don't know if it's showing up as pigmented on camera. I really hope it does. With a great primer, you can go excellent places with this, okay? It's bomb. I love, this red shade was like one of the first red shadows that I ever wore. It looks so beautiful. And also I do think that you need to go in with like color cream bases for some of these bright colors like the yellows. They're not gonna come off as like right on my skin tone. So just keep that in mind. But this is a really great affordable option for those of you guys that can't afford to be buying these like $40, $50, $60, $80 palettes, you know? So sticking with NYX, I want to talk about one of their newest launches. This one right here is the Off Tropic palette. I did a really cool Instagram post the other day, and let me open it up so I can show you. I wore this one right here, and it's this beautiful neon orange, and I was so surprised. It looks stunning. I will say that these neon colors, of course, they're gonna need some building up. So this is not like a 2-minute eyeshadow look. You're gonna have to take your time, but it's still beautiful. The mattes blend really well in this, but I mean, come on, these shimmery shades right here, they are like the star of the show. I'm really, really impressed with this. I think this is a great value for what you're getting. Of course, if you're into colors, this is something that you're gonna definitely dig. Okay, so let's talk about a brand that I haven't really seen too many people talk about, but I really like this. This is from Lamar Cosmetics. I did a review on this last year for my channel. It's awesome. It might not look that beautiful, you know, just looking at it on camera, but it's so beautiful. I love these as transition colors. These as main lid colors. You can even use this as a main lid color. I would like to even use this as an inner corner highlight. This one as well, or on the brow bone, you know, shimmery brow bone highlight. This for deepening the outer corner. It's gorgeous. It's definitely inspired by like Caribbean colors. So when I look at this, I'm like, of course, Caribbean colors for sure, you know, and me being Haitian, of course, I'm gonna love this. A small thing that I do want to note is some of these shimmery shades do have some fallout. So I definitely suggest doing your eyes beforehand if that's something that you don't like. Other than that, I mean, great purchase. So I know some of you guys have heard me talk about CoverGirl eyeshadow palettes before, and honestly I've never really gravitated towards wanting to try them out, but when I got the opportunity I was very impressed. Now their colorful palette right here, this one is from the Full Spectrum line and it's called Zodiac. So opening this up right here, these colors are awesome. They are so beautiful. So these are all shimmery shades. So make sure that you have another palette with your transitions, maybe like darker colors if you want to deepen the crease or the outer corner. And these are just going to be like your shimmers. So I love that. If you're, you know, really trying to stick below a certain price point, you can get a lot of bang for your buck here and then have your other everyday palette and you can just go back and forth between these. But this is really nice if you want to wear color but you don't really want to commit. You just get a whole bunch of shimmery shades and I feel like that, you know, kind of quells your fix for that color. Now this one I want to talk about, and I feel a little guilty because I don't even know if it's still available. If you can't find it, forgive me, but I gotta talk about this palette because I love it. This is the Natasha Genoa Tropic palette, and opening this up right here, this is it. It's so pretty, and this like screams spring to me and summer, and it's got like your colors that are pretty wearable here and then your deeper colors here. And you know, when you look at this, you're probably like, like are those even gonna look good on my skin tone? And I was fairly surprised the first time I used this, but I love it. This color, they're like my two favorites in the palette. But you also have really nice crease colors, transition colors. Also, again, I suggest using either your finger to like pat on the main lid color, or you can use like a really dense shadow brush because it like picks up that color and packs it on and makes it like opaque. But if you just use like a blending brush to just put on most of these colors, like of course you're gonna be like, well, you know, it's not that pigmented. But her formula is very interesting and it's meant to blend out really easily, so you kind of got to adapt your techniques to make sure that you use them to get the most out of her palettes. But yeah, this is like one of my favorites. Speaking of favorites, I couldn't do this video without bringing up the Perception palette. I love this palette. Now, it's not a full-on, straight up, all colorful palette, but opening this up, I feel like you get a good dose of color, but a good dose of wearable, and I feel like a lot of people really need that because a completely wildly colorful palette might scare some people off. But here you're gonna have a lot of work-friendly, like these two rows here, work-friendly looks, shades, you know, transition shades. And then here you've got like date night, like concert, you know, like get spicy kind of shades right here. So I love that. This shade right here, it's called Stallion. I still haven't found a place to wear this to because, I mean, let's face it, I don't go out that much, but this is so beautiful. I feel like Shayla did a spectacular job with this, and I keep reaching for it. I'm always like putting it away because I was like, no, I need to use other palettes, and then like a couple days later, I find myself just reaching back for it. Like, no, I really need this, you know? I can't put it away. Highly suggest you guys check this out if you haven't already. Now, I just love this brand. This is Julius Place, and I love their Masquerade palette. I don't know if this is the minis or if this is the big one. Like, I never know. But I love this, okay? I think this is like one of the best formulas that they have that's in this palette because it's pigmented. Now you've got your transition colors, you've got your gold, but when you take a look at some of these other colors like down here, you could really get spicy with this, okay? So I feel like it's more appealing to the average consumer because they can use it for everyday looks, and they can also use it for when, you know, they want to go out or try something a little bit different. You don't really have to choose or keep separate palettes for a separate thing. You know, you've got it like all in one right here. I mean, the only thing is I kind of wish instead of this drawing there was like a mirror here because this is like so huge. I would have loved to see a big old mirror like this while I'm doing my makeup, but it's okay, whatever. The actual product is where it's at. Now this next one, again, I don't even know if you can get it, but I'm gonna tell you guys that it's awesome because some of you guys I think are really resourceful and you might find where they're selling it. Now this is the ABH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. This came out last year. I really hope that they still have it available somewhere online. If not, I'm really sorry, but I have to show you, okay? So this is it right here, and some of these shadows, they're just, I love this one. I love this one. This one right here, poppin', okay? It's also got great transition colors for like someone of my skin tone. It's just gorgeous. I do find that the shimmers need to be worked with a wet brush or your finger. Just, they're not gonna go on nicely otherwise, but they are really beautiful. Don't forget to check out my best everyday eyeshadow palettes video right next to me if you haven't seen it already. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.